Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Mike with Alpha Shark and SmartOptionTrading.com. Thanks for joining me on this Wednesday night, December 18th. We're getting close to the holidays. This is the last full trading week of the year. And tonight, I got a little presentation. I'm beat, guys. This is my third presentation today on top of trading. So this might be a little bit shorter than normal, which is fine. But we want to talk about, a Santa rally and the end of the year markup. If you're trying to get a hold of me, you're welcome, AS. If you're trying to get a hold of me, Mike at smartoptiontrading.com is my email. You can get me at smartoptiontrading.com. You want to log in to see everything I'm about and what I do. On Twitter at optionsmike. Fastest way to get information is hit me there or hit a direct message on me there. I see that instantly. And I have a YouTube channel which I post free videos on, including this webinar when I'm done, if it records. YouTube.com/optionsmike. Sorry, guys, my throat is a little bit dry today. It's been a long day. Risk disclaimer: day trading, short-term trading, options trading, and futures trading are extremely risky undertakings. They generally are not appropriate for someone with limited capital, little or no trading experience, and a low tolerance for risk. Never execute a trade unless you can afford to and are prepared to lose your entire investment. All trading operations involve serious risks, and you can lose your entire investment. No trades are recommendations or advice, and we cannot be sued for losses of capital. All trades are for educational purposes only. Contact your broker or RA for execution, margin, and other capital requirements. Everyone watching this presentation adheres to all disclaimers on alphashark.com, smartoptiontrading.com, and myself, Mike Pisani. All right, that's out of the way. So we're going to go over what the Santa rally is, market sentiment, and then we're going to go over some charts that I think are going to be in play. This is going to be interactive, guys, so prepared to work. So first off, the one thing I want to start with is last time we did this a month ago, there was a lot of things we were all worried about, right? We were worried about China. We were worried about Brexit. We were worried about the Fed. We were worried about Hong Kong. All of those have really kind of disappeared into the background, right? They're pretty much gone. That wall of worry is pretty much gone in the markets. And so, here we are just off all-time highs, and this market is strong as strong can be. And we're heading into what is typically a very bullish time of the year. If you guys remember, I did this webinar about this time last year and said we're going to get a Santa rally, and everybody just sat there and like, yeah, okay. So Santa rallies very rarely don't happen in the market. And if you ask me, we're kind of poised for a melt up here in this market over the next couple of weeks. So what is the Santa rally? The Santa rally is a calendar effect that involves a rise in stock prices during the last 5 trading days in December and the first 2 trading days the following January. Okay, so basically it's from the day after Christmas until 2 days after New Year's. Right? Why do we not get the Santa rally this week? Well, first off, we have the quad witch this week, right? And that involves options expiration and the index rebalance on Friday. You have a whole bunch of stuff going on. You could already see the volatility in the markets. If you notice the big sells in the final 10 minutes of the day, the last couple of days, that's because the institutions are all loading up everything to be done at the end of the day, and they're just positioning everything for that into that throughout the day. Okay, so that's a big thing that's going to come down in the last day on Friday. Okay, it's also the last days of the big fund managers. These guys are gone as of Friday. The last 2 weeks of the year, they're in Aspen, they're in Vail, they're in the islands, they're wherever. They're anywhere but sitting at their desk managing the markets. So, really, this is the end of the year. This week is pretty much it. You're seeing some profit taking, names that have run a lot. They're taking some profits out. They're putting money, taking some money out of some losers, and they're really setting up positions for 2020. What they're doing this week is they're rolling out the options, and they're also setting up what they want and how big of positions they want and stuff going into 2020. And that's why you're seeing this volatility in names, right? Names like Apple drop on the open, scream up to a new all-time high, and then come all the way back down at the end of the day. It's because different funds are out there playing with it. Volume is very low. So, depending upon what fund is doing what at what time, you're getting a move in these names. And that's what you're kind of seeing here. Make sense, guys? I know everybody's watching the impeachment today. So, characteristics of the rally, you have 2 very short weeks. You got next week you got a full day Monday, half day Tuesday. Markets are closed on Wednesday and then Thursday and Friday, and the same thing for the week after. Very, very quiet 2 weeks in terms of that. We only have 3.5 trading days both weeks. Okay, you can expect extremely low volume. You know how low volume has been today? Expect it to even be lower next week. A grind type action. And really, what they're going to do is they're going to want to mark up the stronger names. This is where they come in and people who haven't owned it and they want to say we owned Apple last year, right? They're going to buy some. They're going to build a position in it. They want to show. They want to be able to go out to prospective clients and their clients and show they owned them. And I will warn you this: the last half day, that last day or so of the market before the end of the year, we tend to get a dump lately, and it's really just that profit taking, a little tax loss selling, and basically it's just them trying to whip things around on low volume. We've seen that the last couple of years. It's become a characteristic of this market, so just keep that in mind as you move forward. So let's talk sentiment here before we go into charts and what we're looking at. We're bulled up, right? If you guys haven't heard me speaking about this for the last couple months, this market is bulled up. The fear and greed index is really starting to get up there at this point. Is it a problem? Yeah, we're getting a little bit over bullish, but this probably won't hit us for a little bit, until sometime next year. But we're bulled up. We have a lot of greed in this market. We're seeing a lot of broader based buying than we've seen overall coming into this market, and retail and everybody's streaming back in. From a sentiment perspective, you can see here the SPY at 65%. Sentiment, is strong, but not as high as it can get. It was higher earlier this month. The Qs are actually getting up into that 66%. I've seen this scream as high as 70 to 73%, so it can still go higher. Notice the IWM at 82%. That's special. We haven't seen that. That's pretty hot. That thing is getting up there at this point. And that's because everybody's been looking for value plays. Sound is working. All right. So, we have a lot of that going on out there, Arthur. So you might have to reboot if you can't even hear me. So, sentiment is very, very strong here in this market right now. So we look at these, the oscillators. This is the NYMOT. This tracks the New York Stock Exchange. And, neutral is 0. So when it gets to 200, I consider it getting very overbought. When it gets to negative 200, it's getting oversold. And you can see here right now, hey, James, that we're getting to 121. The market's starting to heat up. We haven't heated up a lot this year. In fact, if you look back for this entire year, other than when we got really hot last January, right? We haven't gotten hot at all. We've had a couple quick touches down here, but we really haven't been all that hot here in the market. Same thing with the name on the NASDAQ, right? Not really that hot. In fact, this is trailing the New York Stock Exchange right now. Anybody want to guess why this is trailing the the NASDAQ's trailing? Anybody have any clue why this is trailing a little bit? No? It's the banks. The strength of the banks keeps pushing up the New York Stock Exchange. So you can see we're still fine here. So when we look at this chart of the SPY, remember everybody was saying we're going lower, lower, lower at this point last year, at the end of we going into Christmas, and you got this huge, huge rally. What's important to realize when you look at this chart here is we just broke out, right? This break here of this 302.50 area where we just broke out of this and started this move. And since this move, it is so strong, guys, and I want to really kind of just stress this to you, that we have not even retested it. We broke above it. We have not retested it. Usually when you get a move like this, you get a slow rollover, retest it to show that it's support, and we go. It's been such a strong move, we haven't tested it. This move has been very methodical, up for a couple days, up a day or two, sideways, consolidate, up a couple days, pull back, consolidate on the 8-day, this gold line here. The only time we've been below it was that 2-day move down here that was fast. I thought we were going lower. I thought we were going to test the 50-day down there. We didn't. We stopped dead in the middle of nowhere, reversed back up, and now look at the 8-day support. So right now, any pull to the 8-day is, in my book, a buy on this, on anything if we were to get a dip. This market is so strong the last couple days, we cannot even get a dip. Look how small those two candles are up here, right? Tiny, tiny, tight range candles. We're trading in a very tight range both days. This market's so strong it refuses to dip right now. Something else that is really important to me, through this whole time when we were chopping in here for the good part of this year, you see how the 200-day was just going sideways? We couldn't get it to start moving up. And that's because it had all of last October, November, December's bad action built into it. So until we started to break away from that and get that to drop off, we were a little bit contained because we couldn't get the 200-day to move up. So the markets never wanted to get too far away from the 200-day, and we kept sitting there pulling up and saying, no, no, no. Now look at the 200-day. Look at how fast this thing is curling up now, right? Moving up, 100 days moving up. Look at the 50-day going parabolic here at this point. So everything's moving up at a high rate. We are starting to get slightly extended here. We'll worry about that as we go into next year. What I can tell you here is this. Right now, I had a target of 220. We've hit it. Next week, I suspect we try to grind higher on this. We'll see. Overall, the markets continue to look strong, and I believe any dips should be bought. The VIX, there's no fear in this market, right? That little 2-day sell-off last week, 2 weeks ago, got us all the way to 18, and we crapped out very quickly. 12 this year has been the area of the reversal. And if you look at this market, this line, you can see all year long, 12 area, we have reversed off of that, other than Thanksgiving week. And on Thanksgiving week, we melted up, right? And that the VIX melted down and the markets melted up. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen into next week and into New Year's. The same thing. We're probably going to go under 12 here, and then we'll see if we get some type of reversal out of that at some point. Okay, but there's no fear in this market. The Qs, much like the SPY, similar pattern, right? Moving up. I love when the Qs lead. The Qs were stronger today. The Qs pushed hard today for a while before they came back in with some weakness in some of the names later on. Everything continues to be strong. There's no fear here. Nice breakout above here of this level. And then there's the IWM, and this is a weekly chart. So I switched to a weekly on the IWM because the IWM has been lagging and lagging and lagging forever. And you can see here, this is breaking out, finally breaking above this 156.50 range, above 160, pick your number, trying to get going here, trying to go. Its all-time high is up here at 170. It's, it can play catch up. To that end, we've seen a lot of call buying on the indexes that is out in time in March, April, and they're way out of the money time frame. On the SPY, 234s, 236 calls, 230. So we're seeing this market buy stuff. You're also seeing a lot of protection into the end of next year. We'll worry about that down the road right now. That's just protection. But why worry about something they're buying, puts into for the end of next year when, right now the market's bullish, and why worry about some long-term bearish bets like that right now? That's my thoughts here. Any questions so far? So when we think about the end of the year and markups, start shooting out some names, guys. What do you think they're going to look to mark up? Apple, right? That's an easy one, right? Apple's an easy one. Apple, this thing has been a monstrous move of late, right? Nonstop up, up, and up here. So strong lately, it is hovering here like the index is above the 8-day. Apple's a name they most definitely might want to mark up. Beautiful move here in this name, right? Everybody's going to want to make sure they own it. Hard to believe anybody doesn't own this at this point, but they could mark this one up a little bit. Disney. Tony, Disney's a little bit of a tough call for me here. So I traded Disney this week. I made money on it. I'm no longer in it at this point because it's not acting like I would want it to. And my thought process here on Disney is this. You have a big event tomorrow, right? What's the big event tomorrow, guys? Where's my fellow movie nerds? James, you got it. Star Wars, right? So that could be their $7th billion film of the year. Uh, I was in the calls, made money, sold half, kept the other half, sold them for a profit yesterday, got out, and today you got this big down move. So tomorrow we'll see what this does. I'm looking to maybe get back into some calls for next week, but this is definitely a name they could mark up. I agree. Nice move here, right? Big move out of this consolidated base here above 114 all the way up to 150. And I still like this name into next year. I think this name has a lot going for it as we move forward. So, yeah, that's another one. Microsoft, James, I know you love that name. Microsoft, for sure, Microsoft, right? And this name hasn't moved as much as some of the other names, but it's moved a lot for it. It moved from around the 100 area. It's all the way up at 154. A little bit of couple day weakness here. I think this is definitely a name they would look to mark up, right? So what you're looking right now is you're looking for names, you're looking for grinding action, names you want to be. I wish these names weren't so hot right now with RSI, but there's nothing we can do about that. All right, so we got to just play what we have we're dealt with here. NVIDIA, I think they could as well. It's a little bit tougher of a call on here for me on NVIDIA, Stan. And the reason is this. I don't think this name has fully kind of gotten itself back yet, but it's had a very nice move off the bottom. There's a lot of people think that the turnaround's coming next year. It's lagged the overall sector after making its highs here. But yeah, today's candle, topping type candle, shooting star. I prefer to try of hoping maybe get a dip the next 2 days to get in. But yeah, NVIDIA could definitely go. Stay on that focus. What else could we go here with? Nobody's saying AMD, right? AMD. This name's acting very well, flagging up here at a 13-year high. Huge move this year off of the 15 level. Nonstop up, up, and up. Spent a lot of time consolidating, took off, consolidated, and took back off here. How about this one? Nobody likes to talk about poor little Intel, but this name has had a heck of a comeback this year after getting beaten up, right? All right, these are names primed for that. How about Qualcomm and all the 5G exposure everybody's looking at, right? Look at this move from this one. From all the way down to 48, went up to just shy of 100. Right? So a bunch of the semis could definitely see some markup here. Okay. What else you guys talking about? Walmart. Walmart is struggling a little bit here right now. It's been struggling since earnings to get going again. It had a nice couple day move, got beaten up here a bit. But Walmart's definitely a name I agree. They can come back in and grind higher next week. I agree with that one. I'm a little less optimistic on Visa or MasterCard, guys, because these are names that generally don't get marked up as much. Big funds just tend to own these things, and they don't tend to get that type of play in them. They're very tough to move. I'd be more leery with them, but they've both made nice moves this year. PayPal's a name that could get marked up after this big move up this year and trying to wake back up again. I would put that name on your radar here. Let's go back to the banks, right? How about the banks? You bringing up some of those, KM. JP Morgan, all-time highs. Great name for a markup candidate. Big move this year, right? All the way off the lows down here of 88. Bank of America is another one you're bringing up. Right? Huge move. I sold mine way too early. I owned it forever, sold it in the 32s. Now it's 35. Oh, well. Right? It happens. I just got tired. I've been holding it for a year and a half, and I got tired of holding it. Bank of America could do that. So all the banks in play. Those are the two of the best in breed. Maybe Citigroup as well. Okay. McDonald's? Nah, I don't know. McDonald's lost its luster. It's under the 200-day. I would not be looking at that one, Tony, for a move up here. I'm sorry, Cam. I would not be looking at that one. J&J, interesting here. This one's had a hell of a year. Back up almost to its all-time high here, real close to it, if not there. That's a possibility. Very hot up here. Yep, I would go with that one. I would add BMY into that mix, right? In that big pharma space, right? Beautiful move here, up here, hot, but that's a name they may come in and mark up as well. Facebook, no. Facebook's not a markup candidate in my book. Uh, this name is still struggling to get going. It hasn't participated anywhere near in the market as the other names have. It's trailed the market. Finally got a nice day today out of nowhere on a DB upgrade to 280, on point target upgrade to 280 after can't. I would be careful with this one. This one might go on anyway, but I would say this one's going to go because it's getting some attention, not as a markup candidate. I would think, Joshua, just for what it's worth. NXPI, nice move. Yep, right. These can go. Target, I closed my target yesterday at from 124.50 to 128.80. Target's had a huge move. Again, possible markup candidate. This name struggles, though. I'm always careful with this name. It does this. It struggles to get going, but maybe you get a little grind like we had back in here. This name likes to chew premium, so I'd be careful with that name. Doesn't move so well. Home Depot, nah, Home Depot's too weak here. Not a candidate in my book for a markup this year at this point, right? Not acting well, underperforming the market here, not names they're typically looking at. Same thing with Amazon. I'm in Amazon right now for this week in a small call spread, but this is not a name that's outperformed the market. It's going sideways. It doesn't mean they may not be start positioning for next year into it, but right now, look at today's action. With the market up and strong, this thing couldn't get out of its way. Didn't participate after that huge upgrade it got yesterday from Cohen, and gave this candle today. They're not looking at this one here right now. This is not a name that is in there in a markup name. Cuervo. Yep. Excellent look, right? This name could see some action come into it. Right? This name they don't tend to day trade as much. This name though is more of an investment type name. So I would be careful here. You're probably not going to get the kind of volume you're looking for in it, Stephen. You want to stick with bigger volume names. JWN Nordstrom? No, they're not going to mark up Nordstrom. This is not a name that's acting. This has underperformed the market this year. This would not be a name, in my opinion, that I would think they'd be looking at here. Square, another name, probably not a markup candidate. Underperforming the market underneath the 200-day, guys. Again, I love Square for next year, KM. I like the story here. I like the stock, but for me here, this one is not likely going to be marked up here at this point. Shop is an excellent candidate. Though Shop is running into a wall of resistance here, right? Big move. That guy that bought those 297.50 calls down in here. Big move up. You saw some 450s bought today, but right now it's right off its all-time high here, so you got to see if it wants to go anymore. But that's an excellent candidate for markup here at this point. Again, you're looking for strong names, guys. You're not looking for names that have underperformed. You're looking for strong names and names that have volume. Okada does not fit the bill right now. Not acting special, holding to the 200-day here. Starbucks not acting special. Right? Not necessarily a markup name, a little curl, but not necessarily a markup name at this point. They want the names that are going to get people's attention here. MS, yes, SAS. The banks are always tough to me. Yeah, 40, the beautiful move, right? These things are always tough. They take off, and when they go, and then you feel bad because you don't want to chase them, and they just don't stop. I'm hear you. We did Amazon. Netflix, no. No, this thing has underperformed the market all year, right? This thing has been sideways and down. A nice couple day move here. Here's your 200-day into resistance. You got this gap up here if it wants to go. But this will be in play if they're looking for a value play. They may be trying to get this for next year, but it's not something that they're going to mark up, right? Again, think about markups, right? When you want to mark something up, you're buying something that you want to say you owned. Why would you want to say you own this to people here this whole entire year? What has this thing done to earn you money this year? There's a good one. Lulu, right? Another good one. Beautiful one here. You guys are getting all the ones I had, right? Lulu. This thing just off its all-time highs, pulled in a little bit. This is a great candidate for that. And if we didn't have earnings tomorrow night, you know which one I would tell you? Nike. But we got earnings tomorrow night on this thing, right? So you got, we'll have to see how that takes off here, what that does first. Excuse me, guys. Um, Western, again, Western Digital just woke up this week. This is not a name they're likely to want to mark up. This is just starting to get going. They might want that for China purposes if they believe the China deal, but it's not a markup candidate. Same thing with Roku. Roku is not acting well up here right now. This thing to me right here is hanging by a thread. It's clinging to the 100 days, clinging to a trend line that's running right through here. I think this thing is going to be I think this thing has a date with the 200 day shortly. And I love the heck out of this name. So I would be very, very careful with that one here. What else, guys? You guys pointing out there. IBM. IBM has underperformed all year long, John. This is definitely, look, this thing's just been sideways. This is not something they're going to want to say they've been sitting in. Right? Lockheed Martin, David, this is a nice one in the defense sector. This is definitely a possibility for some markup, some profit taking here today, but definitely one that's a possibility in that defense sector. Good look on that one. LRCX, Edmund, very nice look there too. Yep, I always forget about this name, but this is a huge move for this one, right? Big, big move on this one up here. Doubled in price. Perfect, great example on that one. Thank you very much. No, James, we didn't do Google. That's one I had on my list that you guys hadn't hit yet. So you just nailed it. Google, right? All-time highs up here, just getting going. This is a name they're definitely going to want to mark up. This one is one they can definitely take a look at. Right? So, Kevin, the timeline, what timeline? Kevin, I'm just going to show charts. I'm going through things quickly, buddy. We did shop Boeing. There's no way they're going to want to have Boeing on their books this year. They're not going to want to show this name. Boeing here, not why would you want to say you own Boeing here? There's nothing good news coming out of it. In fact, I think if we take out this 319 area, this thing goes under 300 and possibly tests the December lows here. Boeing's definitely not a name they're going to want to mark up. We talked about the others. Adobe, though, that's a good one. All right, Adobe, cloud name, all-time highs. Beautiful move on this, woke up. You could throw a couple others in there. Oops. ADSK, oh, come on, there we go. ADSK, another one moving up here back to all-time highs, right? Some of these cloud names getting going here late. Good looks on those. EA's really done nothing here. KM, I own this thing. I'm not afraid to admit I've been sitting in this thing since the low 120s when I got caught in that big gap down on. Remember the day they halted that thing with news? We all thought they were getting bought. We were all sitting in it, and it turned out they were dropping guidance and killing it and stuff. I like this chart. It's trying to work its way back up. It's a seasonally strong time of year for the game companies. All right. So, I would keep an eye on this one. ATVI has been running. That was a nice trade. Was it last week or the week before? But, these are not markup candidates. They're not really running. Yeah, Christmas, EA, you're right. You could see some action this for that one. ATVI as well. KM, you're right. This one looks a lot better, right? Activision looks a heck of a lot better to me than EA. Take-Two. They had an event today with MKM Partners. Obviously, nothing came out of it because it didn't move. It moved last week on the news they were having it, and it came right back in. Name's not acting special to me here. What else you guys throwing out there? LLY, great one, right? That one, oops, big earnings move there yesterday. Had moved already into it. A beautiful move here. Look at this move to. I think this is all-time highs in this name, if not as close. But it's screaming hot. I would be careful here. This is one they might be just taking profits on. What else you guys putting out there? Cat, another good one. I had missed that. And UNH. Cat, right? Nice move in this one. This hits two bills. Year-end markup candidate and a China play. So that's another one that we could see some buying coming into here. I like that one a lot. That's a good look. I hadn't thought about Cat. United Healthcare, running wild. Another great one. Beautiful move lately. They may want to say they own this, right? Big one here. Biotech is always tough. Regen, maybe, but most of the year it's been a dog. It's not even back to where it was back in the beginning of the year. Probably not. If they're going to mark one up, I would look at Amgen, right? Look at the difference in the chart. That's the one they'd want to say they were in. Not a regen. PAYC. That wasn't on my radar. Nah, it's a nice chart. I mean, this one could. Again, it doesn't do a ton of volume though, so not likely to see a lot of markup in this name. Just be aware of that. Look at how light the volume is. It only does, 250 to 500,000 shares a day. Not likely to see it. Ulta? No, Ulta's a dog. They're not going to mark up Ulta. Right? Why would they want to say they're in this down here? They're not going to want to be in this. They're going to want nothing to do with that name. Excuse me. ACAD. Yep, that's it. Sorry, guys. This is my third talking event today, plus my normal time. Throat is just shot. ACAD is definitely a candidate here. Pretty looking chart on that one. Thank you. So who just said Tesla? Arthur. Tesla, right? Look at this move. Beautiful move. Everybody wants to be in Tesla now. New all-time highs. You got it. That's definite candidate here for a markup. Beautiful change there. Beautiful move on that one. Yeah, beautiful look there. Win had a nice move here the last week. Not particularly special, but they might want this for China. If you were to ask me, guys, LVS is a better looking chart. More likely to see some action into that one there. So we're talking about potential names getting marked up so funds can say they own it. This is what happens into the holiday period. End of the year, every fund wants to say, well, I own this name. I was in this name. Does that make sense? Even if they weren't in it, they got to show it. TTD, another one. Right? Big move this year. Okay. So you guys are nailed all the ones I've had. The other thing you may start seeing here, guys, and I'm not going to go much longer. My throat is really just shot here. You may see them start buying some names that they think are going to be big next year, specifically sectors. What's a sector that's lagged all year, all last year, that may just be starting to wake up? You got it, KM. Oil, energy, right? Energy. It's exactly it. Starting to wake up. So you may see some stuff coming into here. XLE getting above the 200-day here. Look how it struggled with this. Nice move into it here. Trying to wake up. But really it's the names that are outperforming. So, yep, energy. COP has been one of the stronger names in the sector, right? Nice move up here. They may start going to this. Yeah, I'm in rig still at this point already, KM, and looking to add more exposure to energy. How about VLO? Right, this thing has been strong all year, pulling back here in the refiner, but definitely a possible one there. Schlumberger already woke up, right? Look at this move, already woke up, right? What do you have here? You have a possible W, right? This would be the midpoint. If it takes it out, maybe it comes all the way up into the 40 area, 46 area here. See that W right here? Right? Halliburton, right? Halliburton, nice move, very similar to Schlumberger. Um, just starting to wake up. MRO, right? Look at these little guys. These guys used to be in vogue. Just starting to wake. MRO, starting to wake up. Will. Guys, sorry. Come on. Come on. WIL. Oh, I can't see it. There we go. Will. Just starting to wake up. Lagging. This one, though, can move. There was some call flow in Devon today, Edmund, right? Starting to wake up. Who said Oxy, John? You said Oxy, right? Oxy. This one's a little bit tougher, guys. So here's my one thought. If it takes out the 50-day and holds it, this could get some traction. Funds like to get back in something on the 50-day. If the sector goes, you can get a quick move up to 41 or higher on this one. PXD, in exploration, already ran, right? So you guys can look at these and pick the names you like, but keep an eye on the energy sector. I would have a list of names right now written down for markups and energy that you guys want to play and things you want to look at. Because if energy takes off and these go, that's the next location. That is the next rotation in this market. All right. So, yeah, LNG, I don't know. LNG maybe, not so much. Natural gas and oil are not really moving together, Lewis. I don't know. All right. All right, guys. So, unfortunately, my throat is shot. I'm kind of in pain here, and I can't really talk much more tonight. I apologize for that. I was hoping to go the whole time. Yeah, there's way too much natural gas. That's exactly it, especially in this country. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I was glad I was able to come on and do this for you. I'll do another webinar next month. Honestly, I want to wish you guys all a very, very happy holidays. I do, Stan. You can get it on my website. I'll give it to you. Hang tight. You can get my newsletter for free off of there. It's a video once a week. I put it up there. I will put this on my newsletter. So if you sign up for my newsletter, I'll add this into it on Friday when I send it out. Great to see you too, guys. Very much happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. To everybody, a happy, healthy, and wealthy new year next year. Thank you all for attending tonight and enjoying me tonight. I'm sorry my voice is shot, guys. I was on TV. I had another webinar earlier. It was just a long day. Relax, enjoy, spend time with your families, and I'll see you guys all in a month. Thank you, guys. Be good.